you can go.
Good evening and welcome to Elk Grove High School. We are live here with some boys volleyball. The Buffalo Grove Bison, or kind of a wagon, enter the gym here tonight against the Grenadiers. He's Bob Visaway. I'm Chris Randall. We thank you as always for joining us right here on EGTV. And we have a lopsided match on paper, but you never know what can happen.
Well, you never know what can happen, but I agree it's a lopsided match. This could go quickly. Buffalo Grove is 15-5. Elk Grove is 0-16. But the real key here is they're 0-32 when it comes to sets, right? So they've yet to win a set this year. Buffalo Grove is a really good team. Watching all the highlights, they're very, very consistent, right? So they've got good hitters at every position, especially a good blocker in the middle. Is consistent. Every team, I was talking to their player Matu Sadowski before the game. By the way, he's got parents in Poland watching this broadcast, which is kind of cool, right? But every player on the Buffalo Grove roster plays at either pipeline or mod. So they're definitely overmatched. An overmatch for Elk Grove. So the question is, if you're looks like they've got hitting, they've got blocking, maybe not the tallest blocking. So that maybe it's the back row that just aren't being able to receive the serves in a good enough fashion, let those hitters get involved, and then the blocking is getting late to the pins. But this should be a one-sided game, and we obviously hope for the best.
Yeah. The Bison of Buffalo Grove, 15-5 overall, 4-0 in the conference, on top of the conference. Now, the one thing that could play a factor here this evening is Buffalo Grove has only played 2 road matches. They're 1-1 in those road matches. So not a lot of experience getting on the road, but also it's not a very deep crowd here this evening at Elk Grove High School. On the other side, the Grenadiers are 0-6 at home, 0-4 in the conference, and like we said, 0-16 overall. And on that 16-game losing streak, where on the other side, they've won their last 9 out of 10 games, have the Bison, and 7 of those 9 wins have been sweeps. But that also kind of goes into the factor that we were talking about before the broadcast, that they're 34 sets win and 17 sets lost. So how do you get to 17 sets lost and you have 15 wins and 5 losses?
Right. So in the losses, obviously those are 2 losses, set losses. You lose a match, right? And of those 15 wins, they had to lose 7 more losses. So a lot of those matches went to 3 sets. But what you're going to see a lot from Buffalo Grove is outside hitters, Matu Sadowski, number 1, and then Miles Kinney, number 17, the other outside hitter. In the middle, Nicholas Shamali is an excellent blocker, and looks like Kalka is pretty darn good at libero. So Buffalo Grove has a very, very strong lineup. Elk Grove, what you're going to see is the number 16, Jazaris Shrimshire, is a good middle. And then 14, Maximilian Sermon on the outside looks to be one of the good hitters for Elk Grove. I think if I were coaching Elk Grove, I might find a way to get more swing at the pins, many hits, be in the middle if the passing isn't good.
So Wesley Bettino gets us rolling, and we're officially underway. The setter, Sam Unger for the Grenadiers, had a good pass over to his counterpart, Surma, but it goes over the back line, and it's a point for the Buffalo Bison to start here the evening. This one goes into the net, and the Grenadiers get their first point of the night from Bettino's error serve. So back to serve is going to be the libero, Tayden Marcos. For the Grens, we're tied at 1 early here in set 1. And it's floater handled by Kalka. Up, serving middle, and it's going to be a float serve by Sidolowski. And it falls to the ground for point number 2 for Buffalo Grove early.
Yeah, that set was not where it needed to be. And tapped it over the net, and of course Elk Grove, that's what you want. You want to be able to dig a tip. It's harder to dig hits than tips.
Good looking serve there from Sidolowski. And it's going to be sent back, poked right back into the air by Bettino. And attacked on forward by Kinney. Diving effort by the Grenadiers, and it's going to be a free ball now for Buffalo Grove. Kinney's attack blocked up at the net. Kept going here, Unger, and it's going to be another easy one for Buffalo Grove. Kept on the Bison side. Attack for Kinney. Unger dug it up, sent on over to Patel. Patel almost got a kill there, but it's popped up by Slodowski over to Kinney. Kinney's attack dug up. A good rally here. Patel over towards Surma, but it's blocked at the net by Buffalo Grove, and it's 3-1 Bison. But a good rally there from the Grenadiers.
Yeah, I want to see Kinney hit the ball. That's why it was a good rally. He needs to hit the ball. He needs to terminate the point one way or the other. Right now, a tip and then a roll shot is exactly what Elk Grove needs to stay in the game.
Kinney listed as a freshman, as overpass going to fall to Nicholas Shomley of Buffalo Grove, and now it's a 4-1 lead for the Bison here early in set one.
Elk Grove needs a little bit more ball control to keep them losing those points. Don't want to lose the easy points.
Sadowski sends it over. Unger looking for that attack by Surma, but it is blocked at the net. Once again there, Bettino and Shamali with the block.
Yeah, it's a good duo for the blocking. Surma's a good hitter, needs to be more consistent. Yeah, have to avoid the block. At the same time, what we thought was happening is happening. Elk Grove's serve receive is not as crisp as it needs to be.
Sent over the net.
It's right on cue. That's
exactly
an ace.
Sharia Patel unable to handle it, and now it is a big run here for Matthias Stolowski. And it's 6-1.
You say hello to his parents.
Yes, absolutely. Float serve over. Dug up by Marcos. And it's a free ball back for the Bison. Sent over to Kinney. Once again, another float attack.
Yeah, another tip. This time he hit it out of bounds. I think if I were setting, I would have liked to have run middle, and the set kind of died on the vine, so maybe that's why Kinney tipped that one. But again, I've seen Kinney hit it, 3 times? Three off-speed tips, rolls. Hit it.
Kinney digs it, receives it. Patino over towards Abraham, and Abraham comes down with a big-time kill.
Yeah, if you're not going to hit it, I am. Set me, right?
Yeah, exactly. And here comes Zach Padis for the Bison. And back to serve is Shamali. So the middle blocker serving here for Buffalo Grove, floats it on over into the net. Then it's going to be an ace for Nicholas Shamali, the senior. So looking at these rosters here while we have a second, the main difference that you can see is the experience. Both 3 non-seniors. It is a quite smaller roster than Elk Grove's, as Shamali sends this one over. Is handled by Patel over to Marcos. Cross-court tack from Surma. Now Patino over to Kinney, and it's going to be free ball feisted at the net. And now an attack here from Abraham goes down to the ground, and it's 9-2.
Yeah, I'd still like to see Buffalo Grove smash the ball harder. And right now it's Elk Grove, right? But you want to, especially in boys volleyball, it's kind of like smash mouth football, right? Hit the ball hard as you can, have it hit the block, deflect off things, go into the ceiling. No tips, no rolls.
Schmally sends it over. There is Marcos. And a miscommunication there on Unger and Scherimser of Elk Grove, and we're going to have a timeout by the Grenadiers with our score 10-2 here in set number 1.
Yeah, it's a good time for a timeout, and whenever you're down 10-2, it's probably time for a timeout, right?
Yeah.
So we have a community blood drive. The next community blood drive will be Saturday, May 9th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Village Hall. Every donor will receive a special 70th anniversary themed candle. Visit elkgrove.org/blood drive for more information.
So, going back to that experience aspect, how big of experience would that become? So you see here 3 non-seniors for Buffalo Grove. Everyone else is a senior. And on this other side, on the Grenadier side, they have 1 senior on their roster.
Well, especially with boys, it matters because with girls volleyball, for example, girls stop growing around their sophomore year, right? But the boys, they continue to grow. So it's not just experience, but they're a year older. So they're sometimes 4, 5, or 6 inches taller being a year older. So that's a huge value. But in addition to that, more than the year of experience in high school, it's the club experience the players have. That's where the real experience matters because you're playing club year-round, only high school for a couple, 2 or 3 months.
Yeah. So after the timeout taken by Elk Grove towards Marcos. Unger cross court to the heavy hitter Surma, but it goes into the net, and now it's an 11-2 lead for the Bison But a good start there for the Grenadiers to get something rolling after the timeout. It was a good dig. It was a good pass, just hit into the net by Surma.
Well, and Buffalo Grove had a double block waiting for that, too.
That is also true.
And there's the ace we're talking about. The Elk Grove team, just the serve-receive passing is letting them down in this game. And that's why the score is so lopsided, 12-2. So once they do get the ball over the net, it's an easy a dig for Buffalo Grove, and then they can hit the next one. Or in Kinney's case, he can tip the next one.
Yeah. Patel was the one that unable to hand that. The opposite number 4 for the Grenadiers. This one goes over to Surma. Mishandled, and it's going to be an ace. Daria Patel, as he just sent that ball over the net. But the Grenadiers get out of the rotation.
Yeah, I'm going to tease Shamali a little bit on that serve. You know, that was his ball. Now, he got faked out by the middle. He thought he was going to block it. But that's why they pay the liberos the big bucks to play the back row and make those passes even when they get faked out by the front row.
Yeah.
But good serving back from Shamali.
So David Skupian for the Grenadiers comes in. And a quick attack there from Zach Paytas, and it's floated back over by the Grenadiers. Cross court, and it's going to be hit into the block. But a point for Buffalo Grove to get back to 10.
I like what they did there, right? They ran a 31 to the middle, which means they're running a quick set, but away from the middle, so away from the blocker. Elk Grove did dig it, came back free, and then they ran across from the back right from Abraham. It was a nice hit. But yeah. Elk Grove had it defended pretty well. It was just a good hit.
Abraham serves it right over to Marcos. Quick tack. Hit off the block there by Sharimsky. And a mishandled pass, and it goes for a point for the Grenadiers.
Yeah, Shrimpshire did everything right. He hit off the side of the blocker, and you thought when you hit it off the side of the blocker, usually it lands, but he has to hit a little bit harder, a little bit crisper, so it goes a little bit further off the hands. But anyways, nice dig from Buffalo Grove.
Shrimpshire now hitting for the Grenadiers into the tape, and it's back to a 10-point lead for the Bison. And Kinney, who led us off serving, is going to go back to the service line.
Now with it's probably Kinney, right? But we're not sure. But he's back serving, which means Sadlowski is in the front hitting against the setter. So Sadlowski could have a field day now in the front.
Here's an attack by Patel, dug up by Kinney. Skipped over by Bettino, and it's going to be a great little attack there by Bettino and a kill for the Bison.
When the setter's in the front row and can make that kill, it takes a block with you because you have to assign a blocker to them. So oftentimes it's a one-on-one with the other hitters. So it was a nice play to tell Elk Grove, hey, I can hit too.
And a tough attack there, or tough pass from Patel.
Ace. Yep. Elk Grove has to pass well enough so that they can hit in the system.
And now Kinney once again here, the only freshman on the roster here for Buffalo Grove. So they must see something out of Miles Kinney, the outside hitter for the Bison.
Well, the highlight film sees a lot of good stuff out of him.
Is Patel able to handle that pass? And they're going to get an attack from Patel, and it's going to find the back row. And going to be out of play there from our vantage point. I thought it was in.
Yeah, I can't say, but I thought there also might have been the touch at the net. Again, we're not close enough to see it. But this Kinney guy's going to be good. He's going to be taller. He's just a freshman.
Unger's pass, and it's going to be dug up by Kinney. There's Matos, kept up, and it's at the net. Down over, back row attack from Abraham, dug up by the Grenadiers. Unger delivers a pass over towards Skupian, but it way over the back line, and it's a point for Buffalo Grove as they continue to roll.
Yeah, that's the inconsistency on the Elk Grove side. Buffalo Grove isn't really necessarily doing anything special. They're, for the most part, just keeping everything in.
Patel Unger.
Until that one.
Yep, and then that was a missed pass there by Bettino, and it goes on to the ground on the Bison side, so 18-5. Serving for the Grenadiers was Unger. Bettino out towards Slidowski, and it's blocked at the net. A big block by Nathan Ocampo.
I coach do this a lot too. There was a really nice setup double block from Elk Grove, and the setter still set it to the hitter right into the face of that double block. You need to take a look at the defense and set somewhere else on that play.
It over. There's Kolka, the libero, right back to Slidowski, and never made it over the tape. Point Grenadiers here. Elk Grove trying to make a little bit of a run here as we get to the later stages of set number one.
Well, I think what's happening here is Buffalo Grove is got a couple of hitting errors. And
yeah.
Elk Grove isn't that bad necessarily. They're putting up decent blocks. I mean, Elk was better and made a couple errors.
Unger, Kalka, Patino, cross court to Sladowski. This one hits off the block, kept up by Patel, and it's going to be point Buffalo Grove as there was not a reception or another attack after that one. So Kalka back to serve.
Yeah, dig went into the curtain at the ceiling, came over the net. You can't hit the ceiling and have it end up on the other side.
Kalka's attack, and it's going to be out of play. It was close there from how the players reacted. But at point Grenadiers, and now Daria Patel back to serve for Elk Grove. The junior outside hitter for the Grenadiers. 19-8 our score here in set number 1. Patel sends us back underway. There's the Sadowski. Skent over to Shamali, and it's going to be an attacking kill there for Nicholas Shamali.
I like that play. They've got a quick set in the middle, and then they've got a fast set to the outside as well, so effectively a shoot. So you got a quick and a shoot at the same time. It makes it really tough for Elk Grove to put double block on either one. Very well executed play. Wesley
Bettino back to service. Floats it over, and going to be an ace there for the junior setter, Wesley Bettino. And here's going to be the second timeout for for Elk Grove. 21-8 our score here in set number 1.
Chalk it up to character event. Grab your chalk and get ready for the annual Chalk It Up to Character event. From May 11th through May 17th, residents, businesses, schools, churches, and other organizations are invited to draw positive messages and pick Tammy Miller at millertammy660@gmail.com.
It's 21-8. I guess the main question here is, how do you consider keeping these guys positive on the Grenadiers sideline?
Well, little wins, earn that point. Make this good pass, make this good set. Sometimes what happens is you make a good pass, good set, and then somebody cranks it really hard, bounces it on the ground, and it really gets everybody motivated. Often do that too. So if you can get a block against one or two of the Buffalo Grove swings, first off you get the point back, right? But those are the kinds of things that end up motivating you. But what Elk Grove needs to work on, besides sending everybody to club teams, is passing. They've got to be able to get the ball up into the air. Setting is fine, and the hitters are good. They got to receive these passes.
First substitution, it's going to be number 22, Lucas Jaczorski, into the game. Kinney heads out. Jaczorski, one of the seniors for this Buffalo Grove squad. Patino sends us back underway. Kept up by Maya Cruz, and Elk Grove gets a nice point there by Surma out of the timeout.
Yeah, we talked about him earlier, Maximilian Surma. He's got a cannon for an arm, but unfortunately the whole team at Buffalo Grove knows when they're setting them because the passes aren't good enough to run really somebody else. So between Surma and Schrimser, they've got some good hitters at Elk Grove. They need to get the passes up. I'm a little surprised, at least I'm not there at every practice, but why not let them play back row?
Yeah, just see what you have as Marcos is back. There's Sladowski able to receive it over to Abraham and into the floorboard for a big-time kill there for Joseph Abraham.
Pretty sure he hit his head on the ceiling on that jump and then hit the ball. What an amazing vertical jump he's got. And now he's the right side blocker, and the reason you have him on the right is to stop the other team's hitters. But watching that hit, I'm like, put him on the left.
Yeah. As here is Matuis Sladowski to service, and out of rotation error by Elk Grove. As that one may have went over the back line, doesn't matter. Point Buffalo Grove 23-9. And Victor Pedorenko enters the game here for Elk Grove, and heading to the bench is Sam Unger. So setter for setter here, Pedorenko in for the Grenadiers as Sladowski sends it over. Received and over towards Surma. Kept up by the air by Sladowski, and it's a free ball for Elk Grove. Marcos. Pedorenko over towards Patel. Floats it over, dug up by Sladowski very nicely. Sent over towards Durachowski.
Double hit on that middle attack. It's probably the correct call. If you keep the ball on your own side, you can double hit it, mangle it. But when you're attacking the ball, double hits get a little bit more scrutinized by the referee. Patino made a fantastic play on that hit. I guess it was Lowski hit the ball, hit the ceiling. Patino still continued to follow it, and the ceiling actually helped him bring the ball up.
Yeah. Here's Patino right over to Abraham, earns the kill, and now it's set point here for Buffalo Grove. 24-10 in set number 1, and back to service Shamale, who went on a big run.
Yeah, I'm not counting, but I think that's Abraham's fourth kill. He's just getting kills left side, right side, off blockers. He's a strong hitter.
Senior right side as Shamali sends one over towards Surma. Betakar off towards Shamali off the ceiling. Patino sends it towards Derchorski, and it's into the net on the attack. 24-11, the Grenadiers out of the rotation.
Yeah, Derechowski, I think generally is a middle hitter and is not used to hitting at the pin, I don't think. So that high set coming from the back row confused him a little bit.
Now back to serve is Skupian. Skupian's attack on the last one went way out of over the back line. This one's floated into the net, and point victory set one for Buffalo Grove. 25-11 was the final here in set one. Put 3 minutes on the clock here in between sets as the Grenadiers are trying to get the monkey off their back. They've lost 33 straight sets and hoping to do so against 15-5 Buffalo Grove, but got a big way to climb.
Yeah, 25-11 is definitely they did the under on Elk Grove side. Public Works Open House. The Elk Grove Village Public Works will be holding its annual open house on Saturday, May 16th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the James Paul Petrie Public Works facility located at 450 East Devon Avenue. There'll be activities for the entire family, including facility tours, sweeper rides, demonstrations, snow cones, popcorn, and more. For more information, please call 847-734-8800. So 847-734-8800.
So a lot of so on the Elk Grove side, a lot of conversation by the coaches, at least one of them in the huddle. And on the other side, now we see it that the head coach for Buffalo Grove joins in on where the majority of the players are. How does this kind of work in this? Like, coaching is a big thing in men's volleyball. To that.
Yeah, sorry. A lot of times in the huddles, the players know what to do, so the coach is just reinforcing things. So sometimes you want the players to kind of own the baton, so to speak. So let them have their own conversation in the huddle. What you hope is the players say the right things and the rest are listening, but you don't always have to get into every huddle. Elk Grove side, less experience, as you pointed out. They need to fix one thing and one thing only. That's serve receiving. They've just got to be able to pass the serves better, and they haven't been doing that.
A minute 15 left before we get back in. Buffalo Grove took set number one, 25-11. And have won 35 sets. They won their last match against Romeoville on April 18th this past Saturday. But they also lost their last match on April 18th against Andrew. Both of those matches were 2-1. As
I think if I'm Buffalo Grove, I'm also starting to think about what plays can we run that we can use against some of the better teams. So like that combination, the shoot and the quick set, right? Or the X that they had when Abram came around to the front. I think they have to run a few more of those plays so that they can put themselves in spots where the other team doesn't have any kind of blocking. Also, the quicker sets, the better. They can get the ball out to the antennae even quickly so that the other team's middle blocker can't get there. You practice those kind of plays against teams like this, Elk Grove, so that when you play a better team, you can flawlessly execute those. Otherwise, if the offense is too basic, the other team knows where the set's going to go. Kind of like Elk Grove's issue, right? They aren't passing well, so the set's off the net, their passes off the net. So the setter has to go outside to Surma, and there's two big blockers waiting for him. And as good as Surma is, it's still a tall order to make points through those blockers.
So same players here for Buffalo Grove. The only difference is Derechowski into the game as Kenny's still on the bench for Buffalo Grove. But one of the differences here is the different sizes of these teams. Buffalo Grove has 3 substitutions right now that are active, 1 not enclosed, while on the other side the Grenadiers could feed an entire team. So how does that kind of work in a way of like, all right, you got a team that's haven't won a game yet, but has more players than a team that's 15-5?
Well, yeah, it's a great question, right? How, the players who aren't starting, do you play them? Do you not play them? Do you try to bring them along? Why aren't they starting? Buffalo Grove looks like it's pretty much a starting lineup except for the one player, right? But for Elk Grove's case, okay, we've lost a lot of games. Should we be playing bench players? Are the bench players as good? Are you playing the best team you possibly can? Yeah. Should you be playing more for next year, like take the juniors or sophomores and give them more court time? That's the tough balancing act of the coaching staff.
So into the game for Elk Grove is Alexander Ryhorzen as we're back underway here looking for point number 1. dug up by Detrorsky, but a mishandled pass. And Elk Grove gets the first point of set number 1. He was one that we did not see earlier is Alexander Ryhorzen. His service is Pedorenko. There's Kolka over to Bettino, kept it up in the air. Sladowski tips it on over and falls to the court for a 1-1. Now Sladowski back to service for Buffalo Grove, the outside senior.
Yeah, it was a real nice spot to tip the ball up near the net, way in front of the libero. It's almost like he reached over the net and pulled it back to put it there about at the 1 foot line.
Coach serve handled by Marcos.
That's what they need more of that.
There's Patel tipped up in Bettino over to Rychorski, and it's into the ground. 2-1.
Derechowski looks like a fan favorite. He got that kill and everybody's jumping around, so he's a senior. Playing outside, he's listed as a middle.
Yep. Here's Sladowski. Handled by Skupian, and a mishandled attack, and it's going to be a point for Buffalo Grove. After the first one of the set for Grenadiers, it's 3 straight now for Buffalo Grove.
Yeah, that set was nowhere where it needed to be. Has to get all the way out to the pin.
Sladowski, Marcos handles it, handling over towards it is Pedorenko, looking for Ryhorzen. Free ball skipped on over by Shamali, and it's into the court.
That ball went to the ceiling and became an adventure, and that's that passing again we're talking about. So hit the beam, went further back away from the play, and then the free ball was right at the net for an easy dunk on the block.
By Shamali. Well, another one who's been fairly impressive today. This one dug up by Patel. Pedorenko looking right back for it. Patel hit off the antenna. And point for Buffalo Grove. 5 straight of them. Elk Grove just needing to get out of this rotation.
Yeah, that's one of those, if it's not one thing, it's another. They haven't been getting good passing. They had a good pass on that one, made a good set, and then the hitter hit the antenna.
Over the net by Sladowski. Patel. Pedorenko on over to Ryhorzen, and it's going to find the floorboard. Alexander Ryhorzen with the kill.
I like that one. He's lefty. We didn't know that, right?
Yep.
So long term, maybe he's the answer at the right side. He's a junior for Elk Grove. So next year he should be a solid player on the right side.
Patel over to Kolka. Bettino skipped down over to Abraham, and no block there for the Grenadiers, and it's an easy point for Joseph Abraham.
Just another amazingly athletic move. That set was really tight, got there quickly before Abraham thought it was going to be there, and didn't land on the line or land in the net either. Just a tremendously good athletic play.
Shamali over, and it's dug up by Saroma, but a bad pass, and it's now going to be not even a free ball. Marcos unable to get it over on that third pass.
And with boys volleyball at this level or skilled men, even if that free ball comes over, you just have to not give free balls away. If that was in bounds, it probably comes over. People are saying, no, it was bad, he hit it out, right? But if he hits it in, it comes down their throat anyway.
Yeah.
You have to hit that third ball.
Marcos over to Pedorenko. There's attack by Ryhorzen, dug up though by Bettino.
Whoops.
Schmally over to Abraham, and
they're going to call him for a lift. He held onto the ball and kind of threw it or crossed the net. There's an awful lot of contact between his hand
and 3-hour score after the lift by Abraham. And the serve is going to be Meja Cruz for the Grenadiers, the only senior on the list for Elk Grove. And Cruz hits it into the tape, and a point for Buffalo Grove.
Yeah, don't give up the easy points. We've said that before.
Now Abraham back to serve for the Bison. The orange uniforms for Buffalo Grove, the home whites for the Grenadiers. Surma and Patel not on the same page.
Oh, no.
Point for Buffalo Grove.
Yeah, if I'm doing the stats, I give him credit for the ace. Yeah, there were a couple 3 touches on that play, but the way you judge it for being an ace is they never really had control of the ball. So that's why you give him credit for the ace, even though it was touched 3 times.
Going for the second one, right back to Patel. This one handled a little bit more. Pedorenko over to Surma, dug up by Abraham, and Derechowski just flips it on over the net. Patel looking for Ryhorzen, dunked over, continue. Then Surma hits it over the back line, and it's a point for Buffalo Grove.
Yeah, he decided he'd hit the net also. Hit the ball and the net. Why not, right?
Abraham back to serve 3 straight points for Joseph. Now floats it over. There's Patel.
Good pass.
Petaronki over to Ryhorsen. Tough pass, but it's going to find the floorboard as Ryhorsen got maybe one fingertip on it to have it fall, but it did.
Ryhorsen did a great job. That ball was out behind the antenna, and he had to sneak it through between the antenna and the blocker, and he got it through and kind of hit it down so that libero couldn't get it. Very nice play by Ryhorsen.
Andre Palma re-enters, the sophomore setter here, so now we're going to see what the sophomore can do. Floats it over. There's Kolka. Batia over towards Pattis, and a good hustle play by the Grenadiers. That one was Daria Patel, but unable to handle it. And it's a big-time kill there from Zach Batias.
Yeah, the big-time kill is a good word for it. That'll be a kill against a lot of teams, not just Elk Grove.
Yeah.
Nice play.
Derchoinski back to serve. We said fan favorite, floats it on over.
Oh, no. That's not how you get to be a fan. You can't miss your serves.
Yeah, and it is over the back line. Surma wanted to go after it, chose wisely not to, and it's a point for the Grenadiers, and Skupian re-enters for Elk Grove to serve. Skupian finds Kolka. There's Batillo. Cross court over to Sladowski. Skupian, though, gets the dig, and then sent back over by Patel. Cross court over to Patias and into the ground. There's the slide play that we like, and it falls to the ground.
I think what I'd like to see from Buffalo Grove also, these sets are bringing rain. It was also the case on the JV team. Faster, lower, quicker sets, both to either antenna or, of course, to the middle.
Here's Kolka, the senior libero. Handled by Cruz over towards Palma, and it never made it over the net by Daria Patel. And it's now 13-5 in favor of Buffalo.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Elk Grove, it's going quick.
Yeah. Kolka floats it over. This one handled by Skupian. Cross court by Patel, handled by Batillo. Now Slodowski's handles Skupian, dug that attack. And a misjudge of the jump there by Sharimshire, and it's a point for Buffalo Grove. I'm
encouraged by Bettino's defense. He made a nice dig there. He read the play easily, and of course, remember earlier who ran after that one to hit the ceiling. So Bettino's a good defensive setter. Great.
There's Cruz. Palma sent on over. Batillo sets Sladowski, and it's blocked at the net by Daria Patel. Hopefully a boost of excitement there for the Grenadiers.
Yeah, Buffalo Grove is trying to run an X on that free ball, and the middle got a little bit confused, and then Sadlowski hit it into the block. Anyway, 14-6.
Back to serve is Sharimshire, and back is also Nathan Ocampo. Sharimshire gets it over. There's Sadowski, Bettino. Looking for Abraham from the back row.
Abraham can get kills, front row, back row, left side, right side.
And
probably can get him from the middle of the court, too.
Daria Patel did get a piece of that one, so it is a point for Buffalo Grove, and now Wesley Bettino back to service. One of the juniors on this Buffalo Grove squad. Well, he'll be here another year as there's Palma tipped up at the net, and it's going to be a point for Shara Patel. And that's 15-7.
Yeah, the block actually slowed it down. There's a case where if they didn't block, probably would have been dug up, but you got to keep that block on. Okay, so Ryhorsen back in. We like to see him.
Yeah, and then Palma heads to the bench, and also re-entering is Pedorenko, who's back at service now for the Grenadiers. Victor Pedorenko, the junior setter, sends it over. There's Kolka. Bettino gets back underneath it. Schmala, which hammers it over, and it hits off of Marcos for a point.
Yeah, Shmali's a very good blocking middle as well. That set was really low and obviously quick, but he hammered it. That's how you do it. I'd like to see a little higher set to him, but Shmali handled that one very well.
And now back to serve is Sladowski. 16-7. He went on a run earlier in this set. And here's Daria Patel that attacks Sladowski there. Hits off the ceiling. Kolka keeps it up. Abraham floats it over to the Grenadiers' side. In dangerous territory, Ryhorsen just has to float it over to the teammate, and free ball back for Buffalo Grove. Abraham miscommunicated that set by Bettino, and the Grenadiers get bailed out on that one, 16-8.
Yeah, just a little too low. Abraham hit the first one, though, into the corner, which caused a lot of grief on the Elk Grove side. They had to free it back. If the one team is freeing the ball over, that's when you want to It'd be piranha in the water and kill it.
Surma back into the game for the Grenadiers. Duria Patel hits it out over the back line, and now Schmally to serve for Buffalo. 17-8 our score. Grenadiers still have 2 timeouts remaining here in this set. Schmally sends it over. Marcos gets it, passes it over, tipped up by Ocampo. Schmally kicks it back into the air, and it's a free ball now for the Grens. Daria Patel over to Pedorenko, looking for that from Sherma. And it's a point for Abraham and Buffalo Grove as he wins the joust at the net, and now it's a timeout by Elk Grove.
Yeah, Surma was trap set on that. The set should have been out near the end 10. It was almost in the middle of the court, and it was just too tight to the net. It was an easy block. The next live games on EGTV. EGTV will be back here at Elk Grove High School tomorrow, April 22nd, with varsity baseball. Tune in as the Grens take on the Wheeling Wildcats at 4:45 p.m. Then we'll be back for more boys varsity volleyball on May 5th at 6 p.m. versus Palatine. Watch it live on Comcast Channel 6, Facebook, YouTube, or on the EGTV website at eg-tv.org. At a later date and time by going to either YouTube or the on-demand link on the EGTV website.
18-8 our score here in set number 2. Buffalo Grove leads it. They won the first 25-11. As always, we thank you for joining us. He's Bob Vissaway. I'm Chris Randall at another EGTV telecast as we're hoping the Grenadiers can have a miracle come later in this set too, but a miracle is exactly what it is.
Yeah, that would be a big-time miracle. 18-8, 7 more points. That could take as little as 3.5 minutes.
As Schmally gets us back underway, and there's Surma. Pedorenko over his counterport, Ryhorsen, and it is in.
They're calling it in, I think is the key word there.
Yeah, yep.
It was a nice hit, though. I like that he hit it hard. He's going to be a player to watch for Elk Grove next year.
Alexander Ryhorsen earns a point for the Grenadiers, and they cut the deficit to just 9. And now entering the game is Pedro Mejia Cruz, who's going to service for Elk Grove.
Now, Shrimsker is just a sophomore. He is a rookie with Elk Grove coming up, but Maximilian Surma, unfortunately, is a senior, so he'll be gone.
See, these here have Schrimsher as a junior, Ryhorsen as a junior, Surma as a junior, Ocampo as a junior. So
we got some discrepancies
on
the
there
next roster.
So we'll see exactly. But Abraham back and floats it over for an ace as Daria Patel unable to handle it. And it's 29 now the score. Joseph Abraham continuing his incredible afternoon, or incredible evening here at Elk Grove High School. Now from the service line, Daria Patel unable to handle that one. Back-to-back aces for Abraham.
Yeah, unfortunately, Patel is right in the middle, and that's where most of the serves go, and he's struggling a little bit on service eve here.
And they're going to make a substitution. Yeah. Giovanni Gallegos into the game, sophomore outside for the Grenadiers.
The substitution was made.
And we'd assume Abraham's going to test out Gallegos right away. And hits it into the tape instead. He wanted to go somewhere else, and it's a point for the Grenadiers, 21-10.
I think he just mishit it. I think it's exactly what he was trying to do, go down the middle of the court, mishit it. That's why he missed the serve. And if you're going to miss the serve in your Buffalo Grove, it's a good time to miss it.
Andre Palma back into the game, sophomore setter, 21-10. Palma back to serve. Floats it over. There's Abraham over to Bettino. Cross court to Dierchortsky, and it's going to be blocked at the net, and the point for Grenadiers.
Yeah, Dierchowski, the fan favorite, hit that one into the net, but prior to that, Abraham, perfect form on that pass.
Palma, another chance at setting. Right back, hits the tape and out of play, but it would have been a good-looking serve there for Andre Palma.
Yeah, perhaps, but Abraham played it perfectly.
Yes,
on that short serve. He would have been there had it been in. Terrific player, defensively, offensively, blocking.
Here's Doranchewski, handled by Cruz. Cross court over towards Schrimsher. Now Slidowski's attack tipped up at the net. Cruz over towards Surma, and it's into the net. Now serving Dierchorski. 20. It's set point here. There's Cruz able to handle. Pedorenko kipped over by Saroma. Kalka, now we have a whistle, stoppage, and
then over the line.
Over the
in
line.
The front line.
So point Elk Grove. And back to serve. Scoopy for the Grenadiers here. Set point, match point for Buffalo Grove, 24-11.
So they get another match point here.
David Scoopy sends it over the net. Sladowski there. Bettino crossover, slide attack, and sent to the floor there by Zach Paytas.
It's a real nice way to win a game.
Yeah. Double 25-11 victory for Buffalo Grove here in this one. And there were some very interesting players on both sides of the net there, though.
Well, Buffalo Grove has more skill, more consistency. There is some flashes of brilliance on the Elk Grove side. And also, in one area, they could improve quickly, and that's if they could find a way to solidify their serve-receive. Setting's fine. They've got some hitters. They've got, right now, 3 pretty good hitters. So this is a matter of Buffalo Grove is too many club players on the team compared to Elk Grove, and it was a one-sided match. But fun to watch as usual, and, of course, it's fun to be here.
Yeah. So Buffalo Grove wins 25-11. 25-11 here on EGTV. From everyone at Elk Grove Television, Scott, Debbie, Ryan, Vanessa, he's Bob Visaway. I'm Chris Randall, and we'll see you tomorrow on Elk Grove Television.
Again next year? No one heard you up here. Try it one more time. Next year! For this year's Midsummer